I was debating whether or not I was going to make a video pertaining to this topic or not, especially since I know a lot of my subscribers don't watch these award shows and whatnot. But something has to be addressed. But first off, on a good note, thank you to everyone who has put the word out, about my channel being my Tarian Rain Live channel being terminated in less than 24 hours. Shoot, in less than 12 hours. I reached over 1,000 subscribers. That's probably the fastest I've ever reached 1,000 subscribers ever in one setting from 0 to 1,000. I don't really count the other one so much because I was already at like 600 something. So it's like I had a little cushion there. So it was kind of easy for me to get to 1,000 from that. But to get to 1,000 subscribers in less than 12 hours, I definitely and humbly appreciate each and every one of you. We are going to work to build this channel back up. To get it back to where it was and even surpass it. But I want to just talk about this right quick. And like I said, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I was watching a video from, I guess you could say like an online homie of mine. Shout out to Jody's Corner, who does a lot of videos pertaining to movies and stuff of that nature. And he wasn't talking about this per se, but because he was talking about films, it made me want to talk about this. So as we all know, Get Out was probably one of the most talked about original pieces of cinematic history ever to be put out this year. It got like the highest rating on Rotten Tomatoes of a perfect 100 score, which is not easy. The movie broke many records for the production studio that it made. It broke records and made history for Jordan Peele as a black director. And, it did a lot of other things. And even back then, when the movie first came out in February, it was talks of them possibly being nominated for a lot of awards like Golden Globes and Oscars and SAGs and stuff like that. But the awards I want to focus on right now is the Golden Globes. So yesterday, there was something that went out saying that I guess they're in the midst of campaigning or, for the award season that's coming up, because the slide is actually like from September to like late December, early January. And it's rare that a movie that comes out outside of that slot, as far as before that slot, will get nominated unless it really got a good campaign push. And Get Out is definitely going to be one of the ones that's going to get quite a few nominations. I can see it already. But one nomination that they talked about that they're probably going to get that literally had me or gave me mixed emotions was the best movie category. Now, if y'all are not familiar, the Golden Globes, unlike the Oscars, has two different separate categories for their movies. They have one called Best Comedy and Musical, and then they have a Best Drama. They don't have a Best Movie or Best Picture like the Oscars does, where they lump all of them into one category. So they decided upon themselves to want to throw Get Out into the Best Comedy or Musical category. And I'm taken aback. I'm like, really? Y'all thought that this movie was a comedy? I mean, it had comedic aspects to it, but it wasn't like that knee slapping, crying out loud, clutching your chest and can barely breathe, laugh out loud type of funny. It wasn't meant to be a comedy. Like, that made no sense to me. I said, you're going to take one of the most original pieces of film that came out this year and throw it into a comedy category in hopes that it'll win. Because basically the reason that they gave was they are throwing it into that category because they think that it will have a very strong chance of winning, opposed to throwing it into the drama category because they don't see it having drama elements. To be honest, that movie had way more drama elements than it did comedy. If you look up the genre for this movie, comedy is nowhere on the list. It's listed as a horror or a psychological thriller. And I think drama might be on there too. Comedy is really nowhere to be found. The only time there was comedy was with the Rod character, aka TSA. Now, if this movie, and even he came out and said on his Twitter account, he said, so y'all think racism is funny? Because that's what this movie was like geared towards, but it was a whole bunch of other elements there. But for them to throw it in the comedy category, no. And if they're going to throw this movie into the comedy category for to get in hopes to win, then they better put the actor who played Rod, the TSA, into the best supporting actor in a comedic role down in there as well. Since he was the only comedy or the comedic relief of the movie. Like, all the scenes that he did were funny to an extent. He's like, if y'all don't know who that is, he used to play on that show, The Carmichael Show, and I believe he has done some stand-up. It almost looks like they're trying to groom him almost into being like the next Cedric the Entertainer, because they kind of look alike image-wise, and they're both comedians. So, you know, that's just how I see it. It may or may not be true. But if they're going to throw this movie into the comedy category, which blows me, then they better give him a nomination for Best Supporting Actor in a comedic role, in a comedy. It would make sense, to be honest. And then it's all over the place, because then you got to think, if they throw this movie into the Best Comedy category, then the main actor, the lead actor, if he gets nominated, what you gonna do? Throw him in the best lead actor for a drama? So now it's like it's all over the place. So you're saying the movie is a comedy, but you're nominating the lead actor in a drama. Like, it doesn't make sense. And it would not make sense to throw him into a best lead actor for a comedy, because he was not, I'm not gonna say he wasn't funny in the movie. He had some parts where you kind of chuckled, but he wasn't there to make you laugh. The only person who will probably get something that how can I put it? That would get some kind of recognition where they should. Well, shoot, no, he won't. I was going to say Jordan Peele for Best Director, but then they'll break that down to Best Director for a comedy. See, that's what I don't really like about this, because, like I said, the movie wasn't meant to be a comedy. And then I believe Jordan Peele was interviewed, and he said that this is like a historical documentary where he was talking about the horrors of racism. That doesn't sound like a comedy to me. But then again, you already know who's working over the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, also known as the FAPA. FAPA. Those are the people who are over the Golden Globe. And they were saying, well, we don't have a horror category. Otherwise, we would have put it there. Well, then throw it in the drama category. I think that would be more of a relief than throwing it into a comedy, because you're literally taking a movie that was not comedy and watering it down into that for the sake of hoping that it wins some awards. Now, I don't know if it's official that it is in that category, but I know that they are in talks of putting it there. And the deadline is approaching. So I think that deadline is like towards the beginning or maybe the middle of December, and we are towards the end of November. We're over the hump of November. But yeah, I don't agree with them trying to throw that into a comedy category. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments about this. Like, share, subscribe. Be sure to check out the links to my email and PayPal in the description, and I will talk to you in the next one.